In 1864, a hotel owner in a quiet Swiss mountain valley made a bet that accidentally invented an entire industry. His name was Johannes Badrut, and his hotel emptied out every autumn when his English summer guests went home because the idea of going to the Alps in winter was, at the time, faintly ridiculous. Winter in the mountains was something you survived, not something you paid for. Snow was a hardship. Cold was a danger. Nobody traveled toward it on purpose. So Badrut made his departing guests an offer. Come back in winter, at his expense, and if they didn't find it glorious, he'd cover their costs. If they loved it, they'd stay as long as they liked. They came. The valley was bathed in brilliant winter sun. The air was clear and dry. The snow was beautiful rather than miserable, and they stayed until spring. Word spread, and within a generation, the notion that winter in the mountains could be a luxury rather than an ordeal had spread across the world. That valley was the Engadine. That town was St. Moritz. And this is the thing you have to understand before you can answer whether it's worth visiting, because it explains everything about why the place costs what it costs and feels how it feels. St. Moritz didn't become a famous winter resort. It invented the concept of the winter resort. Every ski town on Earth, every alpine lodge, every snowbound luxury hotel from Aspen to Nasico is in some sense a descendant of a bet made here over a century and a half ago. So the real question St. Moritz poses isn't the usual one about whether a place lives up to its price. It's a stranger and more interesting question. What is it worth to stand at the origin of an idea when the idea has since been copied and often improved upon almost everywhere else? Because that's the genuine tension here, and it's specific to St. Moritz in a way it isn't to any other resort. Consider what St. Moritz invented, and then consider what happened to those inventions. It didn't just pioneer winter tourism in the abstract. It hosted the Winter Olympics twice. It's the birthplace of competitive bobsledding and still home to the last naturalized bob run in the world, rebuilt by hand from snow and water every single year. It staged the first organized winter sports events, the first ski races, the spectacles on the frozen lake, horse racing on snow, polo on ice, that no one had imagined before someone here imagined them. For decades, St. Moritz wasn't one of the places that did this. It was the place. It set the template the entire world then followed. And the world, following, got very good at it. This is the uncomfortable part for St. Moritz, and an honest guide has to say it plainly. The descendants frequently outgrew the parent. There are resorts in the Alps today with more extensive linked ski areas, more modern lift systems, more snowshoe glacier skiing, better value, and scenery every bit as staggering. Measured purely as a ski mountain in the year you're reading this, St. Moritz is excellent but not singular, and you will pay handsomely for the privilege of skiing somewhere that, on the slopes alone, several cheaper places now match or beat. If your entire interest is the quality and quantity of the skiing, the math is genuinely hard to defend because you're paying a founder's premium for a product the imitators have since refined. So, why does anyone still pay it? And here's where the answer stops being about glamour for its own sake and becomes something more particular. What St. Moritz still has, that no imitator can manufacture, is the unbroken continuity of the original. The grand hotels aren't built to look like the heyday of alpine luxury. They are the heyday of alpine luxury, run continuously for well over a century, with a sense of place that comes from actually being the place rather than referencing it. The events on the lake aren't heritage reenactments. They're the same events still happening, in the spot where they were invented. The bob run is the real one, the last of its kind, not a modern facsimile. There's a difference between visiting a thing and visiting the source of that thing, and for some travelers that difference is the entire point. The way some people will pay more to stand in the room where something was written or to drink in the bar where a movement began, even though the coffee is better elsewhere. St. Moritz sells originality in the most literal sense. It is the origin, and origins carry a value that has nothing to do with whether they're still the best in measurable terms. The setting, it should be said, is no mere backdrop to the story, and it's part of why the bet worked in the first place. The Engadine is genuinely distinct from the rest of the Alps, sitting high, around 1,800 meters, in a broad sunny valley strung with lakes, with a famously clear, dry, luminous quality of light that has drawn painters for generations and that gives the winters their particular brilliance. This isn't marketing. It's the specific geography that made Badrut's gamble pay off. The larch forests, the frozen lakes, the sheer altitude-driven clarity of the air are real and rare, and they reward visitors in summer and autumn just as much as winter, when, incidentally, the prices and the social intensity drop enormously and the valley reveals itself as a superb and far more affordable hiking and cycling region with the prestige machinery largely switched off. Now, the honest accounting of the downside, because being the original doesn't exempt St. Moritz from real drawbacks. The price is the obvious one, and it's steep across the board: hotels, restaurants, lift passes, the lot. And a portion of that price is purely the name and the history, not anything you can ski or eat or touch. If that kind of premium strikes you as paying for nothing, you won't enjoy parting with it. The social atmosphere in high season can also feel, to the wrong visitor, like the mountains are secondary to the scene, a place more interested in fur coats and being seen than in the snow, where the founding spirit of adventurous winter discovery has long since calcified into something more about display than exhilaration. And the very continuity that makes St. Moritz special can read, from another angle, as a place coasting on a legacy, charging for what it was rather than what it currently is. These are fair criticisms. Whether they're disqualifying depends on what you value. So, is St. Moritz worth visiting? The answer turns on a question that is genuinely different from the one most resorts ask. It's not really, is the skiing good enough to justify the cost? By that measure, honestly, often not. It's, does it matter to you to be at the source? If you find meaning in originality, in skiing where the whole idea of skiing as leisure was born, in staying in the hotels that started it, in watching events on the lake where they were invented, in being at the headwaters of an idea the entire world downstream has copied, then St. Moritz offers something no newer, cheaper, technically superior resort ever can. And the premium is the price of authenticity rather than the price of performance. If that kind of originality leaves you unmoved, if you simply want the best snow and the best value and the best lifts and you don't care about the lineage, then St. Moritz is a beautiful, historic, overpriced way to get something you could get better elsewhere, and you should go elsewhere without guilt. The mistake is assuming the price reflects the quality of the mountain. It doesn't. It reflects the weight of being first, of being the original that every imitation, however polished, is still imitating. That's a real thing to buy. It's just not a thing everyone wants to own. Decide whether the origin matters to you, and St. Moritz becomes very easy to judge. Ignore that question, evaluate it as just another ski resort, and you'll either overpay for something you didn't understand or dismiss something whose entire value was sitting in the history you skipped. The bet Badrut made in 1864 is still, in a sense, the bet on offer. He wagered that the mountains in winter were worth more than anyone thought. St. Moritz is still asking you to take the same wager, at a considerably higher price, and with the rest of the world now offering cheaper versions of the thing he invented. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, smash that like button and subscribe to When to Travel. We're all about helping you make smarter travel decisions. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And hey, if you think your friends need this, share it. Comment below with your next destination or your biggest travel question. I'm reading all of them. Let's go.